Okay, and I'm back while the grill is getting stabilized. The pit temperature is reading 152. However, according to my big green eggs thermometer, it's not even in the 100s yet. So I'm going to give this about 20 minutes to fully heat up. In the meantime, my ribs have been resting for almost 45 minutes. You can go ahead and cut them so that they fit in here. You don't want to do a whole rib. Most grills can't accommodate an entire rib that's this long. So what I do is I cut them basically in half so that they're easier to stand up in the rack. And I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes how to do that. And then they'll be ready for the grill. So stay tuned as we get them ready for the grill. Okay, I'm back. I did forget one thing, and that was to put the drip pan in, because the drip pan is actually going to lower your pit temperature when you put it in. And being that there's between the plate setter and where I'm grilling the food, that's where the drip pan needs to go. So the grill grates that I'm actually going to put the ribs on have to be on top of the drip pan. So I went ahead and put that on, and it did drop my temperature of the grill by quite a few degrees. So it's going to take another 15 to 20 minutes for it to get back up into its temperature, and it should do it fairly fast. Now, so while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and get our ribs ready. What I usually do is I eyeball the ribs as to where to cut them. And I'm going to pretty much cut them straight down. This one is a little bit lower. And they don't have to be exact. They can be approximate. You just want to make sure that they will fit nicely on the rack. And I'm flipping these over. And now I'm going to put them back into the oven for while the grill gets heated. Now the grill is saying that my pit temperature is already at 206. I'm going to look and see. It's barely over 75 degrees on the physical thing. Now, do they have to match? No, but you do want to have your temperature gauge. If you're using another gauge, you want them to be as close as possible. So when my grate actually says it's at 250, I'll go check it and see what the pit temperature is. Pit temperature may be a little bit higher, depends where you put the probe. If the probe is at a hot area of the grill, meaning if you put it right where the fire, where you started the fire for your charcoal grills, it will read that temperature. So it may be off about 20 degrees. So I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, I'm back. Nothing has really changed. My pit temperature is nearing 150 right now, which is really good. On the dashboard for the SmokeBot, it's registering 223 degrees. So it is getting there. I did want to come and talk about the SmokeBot, or why you would need a regulator for some of your charcoal grills. Well, they're a great thing to have if you are doing very long cooks. And by long cooks, I mean if you're doing a smoke butt or a pork shoulder, ribs, roasts of any type, especially a brisket. If you're smoking a turkey, smoking a ham, they come in really, really good because they enable you not to have to hover over your grills for the entire cooking process. So the only time I really use my SmokeBot is if I'm doing a long cook. And when I say long cook, anything that's over 2 hours or longer is when I actually will use the SmokeBot, because it'll regulate my grill temperature for me and I don't have to worry about, am I burning something? Now, do they always work? No, there are some people that when they do briskets, they'll start them really, really, really late at night, and then they'll fall asleep, and then in the morning they'll wonder why their SmokeBot didn't wake them, or why the grill is cold. Well, it's because, you know, the SmokeBot can only handle so much, but if the charcoal burns up and you don't add any more, it will cool your grill down. But they are an investment. My SmokeBot was about $400, but was it worth the price? Honestly, I can say yes, because I have used it for many, many, many cooks, including times where I wasn't home for a couple of hours, where I had to run errands, or I was at the campground doing other activities, like being at the pool or something. So yes, the SmokeBot works really, really nice. As long as you have Wi-Fi, you hook it up to your main Wi-Fi network, you download the app, your app and your box will actually sync through your internet, and when I'm away, I can actually tell if the grill is too hot. I can say, listen, you need to cool it down, shut the damper. Now, it won't regulate the bottom of the grill, and that's where it gets a little bit dicey with the very bottom of the grill, is if you have that open too much, your SmokeBot is actually going to play with down there. So before I leave, I'm going to shut it, not completely. I'm going to let a little airflow in, and the top should then regulate the temperature from there on out. So we're getting up to 234 degrees, according to my SmokeBot. At the 250 to 275 degree is about when you want to put your ribs on. You want to give the grill about 5 minutes, though, when it hits the temperature, to make sure it monitors the temperature. Because there have been times where I have actually put on food too early, and it's dropped the temperature by quite a bit, and it changes how the cooking temperature is. So we're going to monitor that in a few minutes. And I just noticed I have smoke on my nice new hoodie, so I'm just washing that off. I'm actually probably going to take it off because it's getting a little warm outside. So I'm going to take you guys outside and show you what's going on with the grill right now. Now, according to my SmokeBot, I'm at 234 degrees. But if you look at my regulator, I'm not even at 200 yet. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the grill is probably wrong somewhere along the line. And I'm going to wait for this to get a little bit hotter. I have the bottom fully opened, and the SmokeBot's about 75% opened. It's going to change as the pit temperature goes. Now, that could mean two things. One, I probably closed the grill a little bit too soon, where I put the water pan and the smoking chips on a little bit too early, to where the grill hasn't fully gotten to the heat that it needs to stabilize itself. So I'm in no rush to put the ribs on, because we usually eat between 6 and 7 o'clock. So as long as my ribs are on in the next hour, I'll be fine with that. So I'm going to let this heat up and stabilize. I'll be back a little bit later. Okay, I'm back. It hasn't been a little bit later. It's been 2 minutes. But my husband's going to be going out of town in the next couple of weeks, and I thought maybe I would start to get the kitchen ready to be painted. Right now, I'm looking at this blue, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's a really, really nice blue. And I'm going to kind of show you guys an area. I probably will go a little bit darker. You guys can't really see that. But I'm thinking of this white for the ceiling next to this blue, and hopefully you guys will be able to see that. So those will become probably the new kitchen colors. I'm thinking of doing the trim in a darker blue, and you might ask, why am I doing it in blue when my kitchen appliances are pretty much red? Well, red and blue do actually go together, and I'm just thinking a nice light color for the kitchen. I'm tired of the white because the white shows a lot of smoke and stuff. So that'll be a project that's coming up later on. So pit temperature is still holding at 238. I'm gonna go see what the grill is actually doing. I'll be back in a while. Okay, I'm back. No, the grill didn't get much hotter. It went up to 250 degrees, but I'm still eyeballing it, and it hasn't hit 200 yet, so it's got a ways to go. But what I forgot is we're also having coleslaw, and we're making homemade coleslaw. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a food processor for this. If you don't have one, you can certainly do it by hand. It just takes a little bit longer to do. And I'm going to shred the cabbage. So I'm gonna set you guys down over here. I'm a little bit short of room, but I'm gonna bring out my, what's that?
My recipe.
Oh, for your coleslaw. I'm gonna flip you guys around. My husband's actually gonna grab the cabbage and dump the ashtray at the same time.
Of course. My pleasure.
And we're not doing that big of a head of cabbage. We're doing actually a fairly small head of cabbage because it's just the two of us. I'm just cleaning up the mess that he made. Okay, so I've got my food processor right here. I'm gonna get it plugged in. I need to grab the grates, and I will be right back.